Now that we have our racing gear, we can go and race. From our previous, we learned that we needed to have racing gear for better control and better maneuverability. The boots are not upgraded yet because they're brand new. You can actually upgrade them with approximately 5 to 10 motes of light. That applies to the gauntlets, gloves, the chest piece, armor, and the boots. The helmet and the the class armor require more motes of light to get to the SRL specific settings. The rest of this stuff doesn't matter if it's upgraded on, as long as it's the highest light level. And your subclass, irrelevant. Well, at least I think it is. I have not tested them to see if they make any difference, but I doubt it. The Sparrow sometimes makes a difference, so having a Sparrow that looks like this is more stable. Well, we can review the Sparrows after the race. This is one of the new tracks. Lots of snow. And lots of vision blur from the excess snow from the other Sparrows. I'm by no means an expert racer, just that I've raced a lot.
Go! You got this! Get out there and win!
The objective is to hit the gates. The gates get narrower if you go into the lead.
The hive are out in force. Don't let them stop you.
And what you need to do is you need to do stunts in the air to gain fuel for your lateral move fuel. The indicator is on the left there where the speed is. The wizards are almost impossible or next to impossible to get. Other enemies you can kill on the track. This is the funnest part that people always have problems with. They keep hitting the rotating poles. If you miss a gate, you slow down. And then somebody from the tower left well, I didn't even see it there, but there's a forklift on the middle of the track. And everybody hits it until they learn how to avoid it. And the trees are obstacles as well.
Doing great. Left 2.
And of course, narrow gates makes it difficult to... I haven't really used my lateral movement yet either. There it is. I didn't do it enough.
You can win this.
The cool thing about this racing is that even if you don't win, you get good rewards. There's a lot of pushing and shoving as we enter gates. And there's several paths that you can take. This is the under passage. I think it's more difficult from the under passage. The over passage is easier. And then this tree is always in the way depending on which way you take it. The left one seems to be the easier path to take. And here, you gotta be on the inside to get this curve just right. And this is where your lateral bumpers come in handy. And then avoid those things as well. And here's the, if we can see it, there's the forklift. We just passed it. And then of course, don't miss the gates. The more gates you miss, the slower you go.
Faster, we can win.
And we get some lots of light for
Go.
something. Not a clue. Maybe we ranked up in reputation for the thing that gives you motes. Because you do gain reputation for your faction sometimes, and Crucible and Vanguard I think as well, but I'm not 100% sure. Some Sparrows drive differently, but this year I don't find much of a difference. Last year this one was very good. This year it seems to be just as unstable as all the other ones. And then you don't blow up. If you hit the gates wrong, you hit the pillar and you're dead. And then you can hit that thing as well. So the spider tank on the top there sometimes can blow you up. So you, I don't know how to avoid it other than just.
That's it, folks. We have a winner.
And then you get 172 points towards the reputation for the Sparrow Racing. I believe that you only get in the top 3, but I can't remember. Or no, I'm in 5th place, so I think that's the standard amount. If you place in the top 3, you get bonus points, which it shows you the bonus points later on in the ending here until I guess it figures out who won. And that's about it for racing. And it's always safest to wait until you get back to orbit for your drops of stuff. And then typical drops. Guns, any kind of guns from Crucible guns. Sparrow gear, like Sparrow driving gear. And then these random weapons that you use for parts basically. And then legendary engrams. And it's just like playing regular Crucible. You have all your stats. The book keeps records of all your best times. And I think your overall record as well, I believe. If you go into your record book, you go to the... Oh no, not that page. No. Iron Rising. No, actually it's not this. It's not this record book. It's the other record book. It's the one for Sparrow Racing. It keeps a record of how many races you've completed. How many gates you've gone through, how many tricks you've done, how many enemies, your best slalom track, which would be the snow one that we just were on, I believe, and then this is the desert one on Mercury. This is your maximum speed. And then this is your Campus Martis. I believe that's another one of the new maps. This one is the funnest map to play on Mercury, the Shining Sands. And then to get your rank up in this book, you need to also do all the other stuff, well, on that other page. But it's got nothing to do with Sparrow Racing. This is the cool map. but it can also be deadly because of these rotating things. They look like presents, but they're just flat pieces of metal that are red in color.
Sparrow
No
Race.
idea how it puts you on the starting
Ready?
grid. You can see the gates getting narrower,
X near your coordinates. Watch out.
and then this, they said that this thing has like a 90-degree turn. I believe this is the 90. Whoa, my Sparrow just, oh, I messed up on my throttle. I like driving around on these outskirts here. I believe the best track is to go from here, then go from here, and then you can get this one from an angle, but there's a better angle actually that you can hit that at. You gotta avoid these squares, otherwise they take you out. If you actually use three fingers on your left controller, and then you have to avoid this because as soon as you respawn, you can fall back in that hole if you're not careful. And you gotta avoid these things. Whoa! Otherwise you blow up. Oh, we're just on lap 1. I'm not sure which path is the more fun. This seems to be the one that's the easiest to get onto. You gotta always lift your nose up a little bit with your left joystick to make that. And then here you don't want to go too high. And then you gotta push forward to try to stay on the ground.
Second lap. This ain't over, Guardian.
We should be going faster.
And I think I just took out a Vex there. You can actually see it on your score sheet in the record book, or if you put on Polyphage, you can actually see you get glimmer every time you take out an enemy. So you can do it like that, and then I'm not sure what the best path here is. You have to avoid these things again. I believe this is the best path right here, and then you got to go on the right hand side of this pole and not fly off the track. I mean, it seems that that's the most logical way to go through this thing. You gotta lift your nose up a little bit, but not much because it's not required there. Here you have to lift your nose up a little bit more so you can make that jump. And here as well. Here I don't think you need to do anything. You just push forward on the left controller. Well, actually no, you have to lift it up a little bit. There, I hit the ground a little bit too hard.
We should be going faster. One more lap.
You can actually land on top of the gates as long as you're landing on the center of the gate. Like if you're flying in the air, you don't have to actually be in the blue section. I believe you are probably in the blue section when you land on it, but it's too difficult to notice when you're actually racing. On the right hand side you can see everybody's emblem that's racing. When you're near the tail end, you can hit the gates right on the post, and it usually gives you the boost for that. But if you're in the lead, you need to be more center. Well, obviously, because it's a lot smaller.
We have a winner.
And there's a timer. As soon as the first person crosses the finish line, there's a timer. And that's about it. Well, there's more to it than this, but... And then you can goof around until the game time's out. I've seen it sometimes make changes to the final placement of the driver. Like if there's very close race with one or two, so you basically get gear that's usually above your current light level, not necessarily for the item that you're getting. And it just gives you this 365 standard stuff that you can just dismantle. These are the ornaments that you can use to color code your gear, your new gear. That you can either take the